Hey, what's up, parents, and welcome back to part 3 of one of my favorite series. The parents really like this stuff, Jordan. They're really communicating with me. The views are very high for part 1 and 2. What kids wish their parents knew? What do you think about that, man?
Yeah. I mean, it's so interesting to actually think about that. Like
Yeah,
to have the mindset of like, oh, we should ask our kids what they wish we
yeah,
knew about them. Like I would have never thought about that. It's just
right.
like, let me
Yeah,
just keep teaching them, and I don't care. Let me just continue to do what I'm doing. But to step into their world and ask them that, ooh, okay,
yeah.
now we're going deep. I like it.
Let's go deep. Yeah. So if you missed part 1 and 2, go back to listen to those, and they were very fun. Their premise is this: is that I've been working with your sons and daughters for 24 years. I've been listening to them, and I've been watching them grow up. And I realized, like, man, there's a lot of stuff kids wish their parents knew, but us old timers, us old folks, we don't listen. We don't hear them. Partly because kids are just bad communicators, but probably because we just don't listen, and there's just a cultural divide. So what Jordan and I are kind of going through is we're making these fun, positive episodes that are hopefully life changing to you. They're like, hey, these are things your kids want you to know. So listen well. So like, I think it's just a fun, enhancing title.
I do too, and it's that question is going to change for your kids depending on. I mean, it could change by the day or the week, but at different age groups, right? And so you're going to get more of a deep answer,
Yeah.
especially for the teenagers, right, and the older
Yeah.
kids.
It's interesting. Sometimes I'll teach this live to a group of parents, like for parent ed events that I do live in person. So if you want me to come speak, come and have me out at your business, your school. But I'll do like top 10. Here's 10 things your kids want you to know, and I'll give it a printout to everybody. And I'll say, look, I don't know your kids, but take these 10 things, and at your next family meeting, at your next family dinner, share it with them and see how they respond to it. And even ask them, hey, of all these 10 things, what's your top 2? And it just has been a really helpful tool. So if you have been listening to this, maybe make a little note on your phone. Like, these are things that I'm learning from the Sean Donohue show with Jordan and Sean. And you can go chat with your kids about it and tell us how it
Right.
goes.
Right. So last night Sean's like, "Hey Jordan, what do you think about doing another part of this section?" I'm like, "Okay." So he's like, "Go ask your kids." And I'm like, "Okay, hey guys, what do you wish that I knew about you?"
So
And
you hold on.
the
I didn't know this. You actually asked them this. I thought
So,
you
oh
were
yeah, I asked him
joking.
right on the spot, right when you asked
Yes.
me. I said, "Hey son, what do you wish I knew about you?" And he goes,
For
"Man, I
two
wish my
two nine year
parents,
olds, two
yeah, I wish
9-year-olds.
my parents knew that I should have more tech time." I said, "Oh, okay." And I just smiled and I said, "Hey, daughter, what do you wish I knew about you?" "Well, I wish that you would let me have less responsibility on stuff because like you guys put a lot of responsibility on me, and so
Oh
I
my
wish
gosh.
I could choose the chores that I want to do."
Don't we all?
It's like, don't we? So I was like, okay, that's great. Thank you guys for letting me know. Now we're adding more chores and less tech time.
I know. I know. That's so funny. That's so funny. That is like, honestly, when you wrote that to me in the text, when you texted me, I thought you were joking. That like this is what my kids would say. Ha ha ha.
No,
They
no, that
actually
is
said it.
actually what they said in
It
that
totally.
moment.
It totally makes sense. Your kids are strong-willed, they're articulate, and that actually it really makes sense. It makes me wonder if I were to go ask my kids right now, tell me something, what they would say. I actually shared that on last episode about what my 7-year-old said, but it makes me curious to see what my 18-year-old
Well,
would
that was a
say.
sweet answer. That was an intelligent answer.
Yeah, that makes the show. Your kids' answers don't make the show, except for when we roast it.
Yeah.
Right? It's like
And just to
that's
remind people, what was it? It wasn't it like I wish you knew that when I was being
oh
bad, I don't mean to be bad. Isn't that what she
yeah,
said?
that was that
Yeah.
was
That's deep.
that was very deep from a seven
Deep.
year old, and we expand on that in part 2 of this series. But today we've got some serious, loving, amazing stuff. I think today's episode is going to change your life. And if it doesn't change your life, this is the type of episode, Jordan, that I think about it because you and I know what we're about to talk about. This is the type of episode that a lot of moms are going to be sending to their husbands. I think that's kind of
Yeah.
edgy that I said that.
Yeah.
Do you agree? Do you think
Yeah, I agree. I don't think this is the only episode that's going to happen to, but
right, right,
there's a lot of good stuff in here, and
yeah.
and
So
I'm hoping to learn just as much from everybody else. I'm kind of here listening as well, and we'll go through it together. But um, I think it's going to be one of those that hopefully is a game changer.
So if you are a spouse or husband and you're a co-parent, or your wife or your girlfriend sent this to you, just know that she loves you. She cares about you. I love you. Jordan, I care about you. And we just want to help you be the best parent you can be. So no shame in that game. So just hear us out and please consider some of the things that we share on this, because this is a legit podcast. This is science-based research, and anyone who's listening to this, I'm just so thankful to have you, because right now, Jordan, this podcast is the #2 parenting podcast in the world, and just under the parenting categories. And it's just such an honor being here with you, Jordan, and having these listeners.
I agree, man. It's an honor to be on this podcast and to learn. And, it's interesting to see some of the comments and responses people are getting, and it really is helping them. So I think that's so cool, and different ideas on how to approach certain situations. It's just, even if you kind of shrug it off and it's like, all right, this podcast is kind of one of those hunky-dory, weird, there are things you could use and try different that can have a great outcome for your kids. So keep listening and keep learning, just like I am.
I had just a giggle on a Friday night, Jordan. I was going to the Lynyrd Skynyrd concert with my buddy Charlie.
Nice.
And, Lynyrd Skynyrd with ZZ Top, which I'd never really been into ZZ Top, but it's like shocking.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, they freaking rock, man.
Oh,
They're like
come
in their
on.
70s. Like
Yeah.
They have like 6 or 7 huge hits, man. ZZ Top, dude.
Dude, that's so funny. The classic rock. Like, I just went to a Bret Michaels concert. It was amazing. Part of Journey was there. Like, oh my gosh, it's so awesome.
But I'm driving in my buddy's, he drove in his brand new like Explorer, and he had this, fancy screen for his radio. And dude, my podcast was our podcast was up there with our photo. So I'm like, dude, like dreams really do come true. Like, I'm a 45-year-old man driving to a Lynyrd Skynyrd concert, and my face is on the TV screen, and your face too, with the podcast logo. I was like, who would have thought, man, that we'd be here, when we were younger, just a couple of dudes. And now here we are. So let's get serious here. So I've been listening to your sons and daughters, and there's 2 things here today that they really want you to know, and I really want you to remember this. This is very, very important. The first thing is that they want you to know, I wish you would be more interested in learning about me than you are about telling me who you think I should be.
Where did you hear that from?
That is from 24
Is that from
years.
Someone?
No, this is from 24 years of listening to children.
And that's a summation of what they want us to
I wish you would be more interested in learning about me.
Wow.
Than you are about telling me who you think I should be. See, I put a little tone to it that time. Give me your raw responses, man, as an awesome man, and happy birthday to you. This is Jordan Steele's birthday today. How old are you, man?
Oh man, I've never gotten past age 29. So I'm 29 again. This is a great age. You're old enough to be an adult. You're still young enough to have a great time. So I'll never age from 29.
Dude, you look 29, man. You looking good, dude. You're looking good. So
that comment though, it makes me sad. It makes me feel like it is the answer coming from a child in a disgruntled family, right?
Okay.
And this is just a picture when I think of like a word picture. It's a child that's coming from a family that has a father that yells at them and that continues to tell them what they should be doing at that time. Maybe a mom who's working a lot and is not always there. I don't know. That's just the picture that shows up into my mind, because
that's really good.
I always ask my kids questions and try to get into my kids' lives. And a lot of the dads I'm around does the same thing. So it's kind of a sad statement.
It is sad. Yeah. It's almost like another paraphrase would be, I wish you would spend time with me in my world.
Right.
That's like,
or another picture I have is like a parent on their phone while their kid's sitting right next to them, and they have no care to talk to their kid. They're just scrolling through their phone.
Oh my gosh. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah. That is, I wish you'd spend time with me, playing with me, being with me in my world, but you're in your world of screen. Yeah, it makes me wonder, if you'd ask 10 different parents what word picture or visual picture comes to mind when you hear that. I'd be curious what people think about. I wish you would spend more time. I wish you'd be more.
There's always
learning about me than about
There's
the
always
toys.
times to make an excuse. Yeah, there's always times to work. There's always time to do chores. When
Yeah.
that kid says, "Hey, will you play with me?" and you say, "No, I have to do this," you could get an answer like that. I wish you would slow down and play with me and not, focus on all this other stuff.
Here's so my wife has a friend over right now. Her name is Gracie, and right before this episode, I actually asked my 7-year-old a question, my wife a question, and I asked Gracie a question. And one of the questions I asked was, "Hey guys, when you think about your childhood or your teen years, did your what kind of stuff did you do with your parents?" And my wife said, "Well, I was an only child, so I used to love to play store. So my mom used to play store
Oh,
with me a
store.
lot."
Yeah.
Store, yeah. Gracie
Store.
said, "I used to go dirt biking a lot with my family. My dad and my brothers, we'd go dirt biking." And then it made me think about this episode. And here is like the gist of the episode. So there's a lot of parents right now that they've been successful at inviting their kids to come into their world, into their hobbies. So for example, they love baseball. So now their kids are playing Little League baseball. Or they love basketball. So now their kids are playing basketball. Or they love dirt biking. So now their kids dirt bike. And that is so great. If you have that, what a blessing. You're lucky. I'm happy for you. That's not what this episode's about. But isn't that wonderful? Like when you're able to share your love for one of your hobbies, your world, do you have any?
100%.
Does anything
I
come to
mean,
mind for you?
for the longest time, I wanted to teach my kids how to ski and snowboard, and they didn't really care about it in the beginning. But like, I have this vision of like skiing with them, and that's a hard sport. It takes a lot. You're cold. It's windy. It's snowy. It's wet.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, there are times when they're just like, "I'm done." But I pushed through, but I also dumbed it down. I'm not, I made sure to now I go on sunny days when it's warm, and I make sure it's fun, and let's make sure we go get some food. And so I've dumbed it down a lot, so it's a fun experience and it's not a chore.
Right.
Because if it turns into a chore for them, they're not going to want to do it.
Oh, it's so wise that you said that. So like that'd be like a whole nother episode. How do you wisely and successfully invite your children into your world in a successful way? There's definitely do's and don'ts on that. And we're not going to concentrate on that today, but that's like what comes to mind when you talk about skiing, man. Right?
And it's hard too with like some of these, sports, especially with technology now. I mean, instant gratification, and like, I love to fish, and like that is not instant gratification. You have to sit there for a long time and be patient, and then eventually get this fish. And to me, it's really fun and enjoying. To them, they're like, "What am I doing?" So I've had to kind of like try to figure out how to get them interested in some outdoor stuff as well. Because you got to push them a little bit. You can't let them run the show, and they're going to get these experiences, but you have to change the way you're doing them than the way you used to do them.
Yeah, man. Like, that makes me think of that. Right. Like when I started taking my family camping, it didn't go well because I was a young dad and I didn't have the gear, and my wife wasn't into it. My kids were struggling. And I was like, look, if I'm going to successfully bring my family into my passions, I got to be cool about this. I got to be wise about this. Let's do a whole nother episode. But what we're focused on here is what kids wish their parents knew. And what they want us to know is they want us to go into their world. So Jordan and I, actually, for those of you listening, we developed a little quiz for each other. And we're going to quiz each other right now. And so, Jordan, why don't you ask one question of me, and then I'll ask you one question. Here's the prompt. Think of some things that your kids have been really into, and then you're going to ask the other dad the answer to this question. And the theme of it is that, let me tell you, I'll go first, okay?
Okay.
So, all right. So, Jordan, here's your first question out of 3. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Jordan, do you know who Applejack, Rainbow Dash, and Twilight Sparkle is, and what is the difference? Okay. Now, I know the answer to this question, and I know it very well, and I know a lot about this topic. And so if you have no idea what I'm talking about, either because A, your kids have never been involved with Applejack, Rainbow Dash, or Twilight Sparkle, or because they have been and you have been really missing the boat. You are not spending time in their world.
Right.
I can tell you a lot about Applejack right now, about Applejack, Rainbow Dash, and Twilight Sparkle. And I maybe gave it away.
Okay, so the only thing I can think of right now is like some kind of trolls, or like the pony. Is it the pony? I love Pony. I love My Little Pony.
It is. That is correct. These are
Yes.
characters.
Now my kids weren't into that, but they were for a little bit.
You did it. Okay, you
I
got one
did it.
point. Yes,
I got one
Applejack
point.
is the orange. Is the orange rainbow, or I was the orange pony, and she has an accent, and she's my favorite. And yes, do you think I enjoy? I spent so many years, man. I spent over a decade of my freaking life playing My Little Ponies with my daughters. Did you think I
Dude,
enjoyed
that's
that?
awesome.
Do you think I enjoyed that?
I think you enjoyed the time with your daughter.
I sure did. I sure did. But dude, there's even a movie on Netflix. It's called Bronies. It's about grown men who love My Little Ponies. It's super entertaining.
You need to be a guest host on that show.
It is. I know a lot about them because even though I'm not into that stuff, I'd rather be watching NFL football, watching basketball, watching MMA, fishing, sports, outdoorsy stuff because I entered into my world. Okay, you got 1 point.
Okay, so my question, we'll keep it, show themed. We were big for a while with the kids with Peppa Pig, but also Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. Have you ever heard of Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood?
Is that my question?
No, your question is, who is Daniel? Okay, who is Daniel Tiger? Who is Daniel Tiger supposed to represent?
No clue. No clue.
No clue? Oh, come on.
No, my kids have never got
You've got the song. You've got the trolley. He comes home. He changes his shoes. He puts on another sweater. He mimics Mr. Rogers.
No way.
Yes, that show is stemmed outside of Mr. Rogers. Isn't that crazy? And it brought in a new generation. It's so cool.
Dude, that is so cool. So props to you if you got a point and if you know that. Because either means A, your kid's into that show, which means you are into that show. And if your kid watches that show and you don't know the answer, we'll give yourself negative points. Okay?
Right.
Okay, ready for the next one? Okay, what does no cap mean?
Oh, I was going to ask the same question. All the kids are saying that. And it's not even no cap. It's like, that's cat, bro. That's cat. It means you're lying.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
I don't know why. I don't know where it came from.
So annoying.
I told my kid when they told me that, I'm like, you realize this makes no sense, right? And they're like, Dad, you're cat. And then they walk away. And I'm like, what the heck?
Okay, here. How about this one? Okay, since we were both going to ask each other that, what does slay mean? Slay.
So
not like Santa Claus slay.
Right. Like I slayed that, like I dominated that.
No.
Like you got slayed, like you got played, like you no. Okay. I don't know. I've never heard that term.
I could be wrong because I'm 45. I think slay just means cool. It's like how we use cool.
Oh, like that's slay.
Yeah, that's slay.
Okay. So remember all the terms we used as a kids? I remember using like, oh snap, or that's whack, or dude, that's dope. That's tight. In California, tight was a big one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's tight. Right. That's sick,
So if your kids talk like this, then you should talk to them about that. Okay, I'm up. Ask me a question.
All right, so my kid's into gymnastics, and I know you're not going to know this, but what are the 6 men's gymnastics events?
The 6 gymnastic events for men?
For men. The 6 events that they have to do, and then they get their score.
I'm glad that you know this.
I've gone to so many gymnastic meets because my son, you've got pommel, you've got rings, you got parallel bars, also known as P-bars.
What's pommel? What's pommel?
Pommel is, I actually have one here, but it's think of a mushroom, right? Uh-huh. It's a mushroom. It's for the younger. It's like when they get older, they do something called the horse, and it's when they balance with their 2 hands and they have to whip their legs around. So pommel is how they start. And so it's like a mushroom that they do the same thing on to learn as a younger aged men. Then you got vault, then you got parallel bars, and then you've got, I already said that, high bar.
When you're watching your son on any of those events, do you ever get scared? Like he's going to...
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's fallen off not the parallel bars, the rings. He's fallen off the rings before, and he almost got really hurt. But now he's working on some crazy stunts, and it's really cool to watch him. That's a world that I would never got into prior to him being around.
So was it your wife's world that she pushed him into that?
No, she was never in.
No way.
Yeah, it was like we started in, it's like when you have kids, you get them in activities. We did soccer. We kind of put them in rock climbing for a little bit. Like, let's try this. And then we had a little gymnastics thing down the road and we just put him in it. Yeah. And then he was starting to get pretty good. And the coach was like, hey, he's got some skill. and you might want to have him go to a competitive, team. And
Yeah.
so we did it, and he's doing great.
Dude, this is so cool, man. Those guys
Yeah,
are
it's cool.
jacked, dude. Those
Yeah,
girls
they're
and guys
jacked.
are so. This is like the best sport of all time. Okay, this one's easy. I mean, this is easy. Like most of you know the answer to this, and if you don't know the answer to this, then where have you been? Right? Where have you been with
Right.
your kids? All right, Jordan. What is Arendelle?
Oh, Arendelle.
Yeah. What is Arendelle?
Arendelle. Oh, come on. That's the community in Frozen. Of course I know that.
So easy. Do you know who Kristoff is? So easy.
Of who doesn't? Kristoff's the best with his best friend Sven. Yeah. My kids love that movie.
Dude, it's such a great movie.
Honestly,
movies.
I love that movie.
They're both so
it's
good.
so good.
It's so good. Okay. All right. I got one more bonus for you. You go for it.
All right. Oh, you want me to ask you something?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's a video game my kids are into, or one of my kids is into. It is the strangest video game I've ever played in my life. Has anyone heard of the video game called Cuphead?
No.
You're literally like a teacup. That's your character. And you're going around. It sounds terrible, but it's a really fun game. It's kind of like a slash between 3-dimensional and 2-dimensional. And you're this Cuphead character, and you're trying to defeat these different levels to get to the ultimate bad guy. The ultimate bad guy is the devil, believe it or not, which you're trying to attack.
What the heck?
I know, it is so weird, but it is so fun. And the question was, who is the bad guy? I already gave it away.
Oh my gosh. All right. This is for all you that have teenagers. So you probably don't know. What is JoJo's Circus? If you have teenagers,
is JoJo Circus, is that the girl who came up with JoJo Siwa? Didn't she come up with like a bow? Is that a YouTuber or like a what is JoJo Circus then?
Cartoon on that was only ran for 4 seasons, and it's been off for over a decade. So, all right, here's why I wanted to bring this up. About 15 years ago, I went on a jog with a friend. I'm gonna call him.
I'm sorry. Jogging, that's no fun.
I know. I'm going to call him Greg. I'll call him Greg. And Greg's a lovely man, like a really great man. He's a great husband. He's great at his job. And at that time, Greg had he had a teenage son, a high school son. Maybe he was in 8th or 9th grade. And I knew this kid. He's a great kid. He loved, cross country. He loved baseball, and he loved video games. Pretty basic stuff for a kid that age.
Yeah,
don't you agree?
Totally.
And I'm jogging, and my friend Greg is like, "Yeah, I don't know, man. There's something going on with my son. Just all he likes is video games, and he just wants to go running." It's like I don't have anything in common with him. It's like we just don't connect. And I'm sitting here, Jordan, and I'm just jogging next to him, and I don't even know what to say.
You didn't get. I mean, you should. You give him advice. You'd be like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, I want to. Yeah. What was your reaction?
I was just in so much shock. I don't normally give my friends advice for parenting unless they ask, but I was just jogging, and I was just sad, man, and I was just brokenhearted. Can I tell you why?
Yeah, because it sounds like this dad didn't even try.
Yeah, man. It's like I'm thinking to myself, Greg, like, what the hell, man? You have an awesome son, dude. I'm never going to have a son. I've got 3 awesome daughters. Maybe I'll have a grandson one day. But you have this awesome son. And I'm thinking to myself, Greg, it's not about you. It's not about you. You've got this awesome son in your life for only a period of time. You don't like video games? Who cares? Go play video games with your son. You don't like baseball or cross country as much as your son does? Who cares? Enter into his world. Spend time with them. Listen to him. Enjoy that world. Be a part of that world. Just love on your son. Be there in his world and be a good dad in that world. And your son wants you to know, Dad, I wish you'd be more interested in learning about me than telling me who you think I should be.
That's deep. Now, you were thinking all this. Did you happen to give any advice to him in that moment?
Man,
you didn't?
No, I didn't. I was jogging, half out of breath. My knee was hurting. And
what's his relationship like now with his son?
I don't know. Now he's, a grown man in his mid-20s, and I don't know. I'm sure it's fine. Hard. I'm sure it's good, but is it close? Is it like, I don't know. That's for those two to figure out. But see, like, let me share one more point I think is kind of profound. You heard me say this a lot. I say this a lot in my social media videos. I really help my clients in my VIP membership excel at this. Jordan, what do you think of when you hear me say parents or teachers in every home is a school?
It makes me empowered, and like it makes me feel like I play a big role in my kids' upbringing, and it makes me also second guess what I'm doing in the house and how
Okay.
I'm parenting and how I'm acting.
Yeah. All right, man. That was deep. Parents or teachers in every home is a school. Yeah. I want to share another saying with you, and I want you to respond to it, okay? Because parents are teachers, and we teach something our kids do not have, which is wisdom. We have it. They don't. They need it. And so it's good to teach your kids about the outdoors, about hygiene, about morals, about love and faith and spirituality and friendship and screen management. These are all good things to teach. You with me? Heart talks.
Mm-hmm.
But here's another saying for you. Ready? Love what you teach, but love who you teach more.
Right.
Love what you teach,
Love what you teach. Love the topics that you're
who,
teaching.
but love who you teach more. What do you think about
Right. I think that puts a deeper connection into who you're teaching to, a deeper maybe meaning.
that? Yeah. Do you think that
And it brings it
sometimes?
back to the idea that, the human angle, right? Not just, let me teach you stuff. No, why are you just
Mhm.
teaching them stuff, right? We're human. We're learning.
Yeah.
We're all on a journey.
I think that I don't judge any parent for doing this, but I'm just trying to put myself in their shoes, Jordan. And like, it seems like I think some parents have screwed this up, man. It's like they are so persistent on teaching something or on behavior modification with their kid or like making their kid become this little bonsai tree that they want to mold them to that they don't live this out. It's like they love themselves and they love the teaching more than they do the child.
Yeah, but it gets so hypocritical because you think this way, those parents think this way, right? They're super selfish. All they do is think about what's best, what's in it for them, and not the opposite way around. But yet they also still, let's say, resent their parents for what their parents did. Again, selfish, self-centered.
Sure.
So you really have to have a mindset like how you started the show and say, it's not about you.
Right.
It's not about you.
It's not about you. It's so hard to live that out though. You know, it's so hard because if we want it to be about us, we want it to feel good. We want our kids to listen to us, love us, to go dirt biking with us, to do what we want them to do, right? To do our hobbies. And it can be very confusing. It can be very tempting to not live this out. Love what you teach, but love who you teach more. Like, here's what I'm thinking. Here's a question for you. If a parent says this, doesn't mean they've screwed this up. If a parent says, I don't care if you hate me, you have to listen to me. Does that mean they've screwed this saying up? Love what you teach, but love who you teach more. I'm just poking at you right now.
I mean, to me, I don't want someone I love to hate me. So I think saying that therefore defeats the purpose.
That's right. Well said. And can you actually learn from somebody that you hate?
Right, because you have no respect for them.
Right.
You don't like them. So no, you would only listen to them, let's say, if you're under 18 and under the same roof and have to abide by these rules. And that's why a lot of kids are like, gosh, I can't wait to move out here when I'm 18 or whatever
Yeah.
that situation might be. I can't wait to do my own thing
Yeah.
because maybe that is going around in that house.
Yeah, because maybe there's not as much love as there
Right.
could be. And this is why, what is this podcast really about? What is this episode about? It's about love. It's about love. And one of the ways we can love our kids is that we are more interested in learning about them and spending time in their world than we are about telling them and teaching them. And that kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Because the reality is as the Beatles says, all you need is love. All you need is love. Ba, ba, da, da, da. All you need is love. Love. Love.
We want to build our houses on a foundation of love, and then we want to build teaching into them. And so let's talk about the next thing our kids want us to know, because good parents are teachers, and they're good teachers that build their teaching on love and on stability and on predictability and on harmony. And one of the ways we teach our kids is by connecting with them and by talking with them and by, asking them questions about their lives, about how was, gymnastics today? How, what do you think about Applejack? What do you want for Christmas? Tell me about your thoughts on Frozen, or how was the baseball game? And so parents are always asking their kids questions, right? Because that's what good parents do, right?
Right.
But I've noticed after being in this space for so long, there's one question that us parents are really into. There's one question that is like the world's most popular parenting question. Jordan, I don't have any research on this. I'm just kind of pulling this out from listening. What do you think that question is?
How was your day? Or how was your day at school?
Oh my gosh. How was your day? How was your day?
Well, I asked my kids that the moment they got off the bus today. I want to know how their day was. I didn't spend the day with them.
Hey, no judgments.
How was your day?
No judgments, because they just started school, right?
Right. And they just got home. I've been at work all day. They've been at school all day.
That's a lovely question.
I want to know how your day was. My wife asked me, how was your day? How was your morning?
It's a lovely, nice thing. Is that is this their first day of school or second?
Oh no, man. We're in like week 3.
Oh, my bad, dude. Okay.
Week 2, week 3. We start early over here.
Let me give you the other side of that coin, man. How was your day? Is that really the best we've got? How was your day? And your kids might answer that question, but I'll tell you right now, they may not. And if they get older, become tweens or teenagers, that is maybe the world's dumbest question. It's like, come on now. We can do better than that, can't we?
I ask other questions too, like, hey, what did you learn today? I don't really get much answer from that. I say, what was your favorite moment today?
Okay.
It's, and there's kind of you can kind of get maybe a deeper answer, but a lot of it's still surface level.
Well, I'm going to ask you a question in a second. And the question is going to be, tell me some prompts that you use, some soft openers, as the Gottman Institute teaches us, about how to get your kids talking. Now, here is the thing our kids want us to know, and it's very serious. Are you ready? I am dead serious when I tell you this. This is very good information. Our kids want us to know, I wish you would be really good I wish you would ask me really good questions. Let me rephrase that. Our kids want us to know, I wish you would ask me really good questions and then give me the freedom to honestly respond. That's what they want.
And if they don't respond, you just keep asking? Well, good questions?
All right. Well, we can get to that next, but I don't want to sweep this under the rug. You kind of changed the subject right now.
No, I'm literally questioning this idea.
Can I come back to that in a second?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
I want to know your opinion. What do you think on this?
Because sometimes kids don't want to talk. So they'll just say they won't answer. They won't answer.
That's totally normal, whether your kid is 5 or 15 or 25.
Right.
But that's not what this is about. They want us to know, they actually want us to ask them really good questions. They do. Now,
maybe I want them to know. I want them to answer my dang questions.
I want them to answer your questions, but you're making this about you right now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, easily. I'm glad you laughed. I'm so glad you laughed. I was like, oh, shit, what did I say? But no, let's slow it down, man. Slow your roll.
Slow my roll. Okay.
You tell me, why do you think our kids want us to ask them really good questions? Break it down. Put yourself into
Well, because it goes back to the beginning. They want us to know more about them.
Yeah, everybody.
Maybe. I mean, deep down, I think they do. But sometimes on the surface, they put on a face like, nah, I'm cool.
Everybody likes talking about themselves. That's actually one of the world's most famous books, which is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Teaches that, you know what? Everybody likes talking about themselves, and everybody likes it when somebody asks them a really good question. So why do you think our kids specifically want us, the parents, to ask them questions? Put yourself into a child's psychology for a moment.
Because they're not going to come out with it on their own?
That's got to be partially true. It helps them to think about their answer.
Right.
Process. I don't have any answers for this. We're just rapping right now. Let's take.
I love it.
Why else do you think our kids want us to ask them these questions? Really good questions, not stupid questions like "How was your day?" No
I think on a deep level, it's to teach them more about themselves. Not even teach us more about them. It's to teach them about
Yeah.
themselves,
Yeah, buddy.
about what they're feeling,
That's
what
good.
their thoughts were on a certain event. We ask the tough questions, then they have to actually ponder on it.
Yeah, it's good. You know what I think why? Is because everybody likes feeling pursued and like wanted. And when you ask questions, like some of these good questions, it makes them feel pursued and like wanted, like you're interested in them. Like imagine if you were a kid and your dad and your mom never asked you these questions, right? How would you feel? I actually have experience with this. I would know. I had a parent who didn't ask me any of these questions. Here's an example of some good questions. Hey, who's your favorite celebrity to follow? Who do you sit with at lunch? What do you daydream about? Who's your favorite friend to hang out with right now? Do you have a crush on anyone? What's your favorite band? How does it make you feel when you see photoshopped ads?
That's a hilarious question.
These are good questions. Yeah, these are questions.
How do you feel about photoshopped ads? That's funny.
Yeah, no, these are really good questions. Your kids want you to pursue them.
What are your thoughts on AI? Yeah.
What are your thoughts on AI, right?
What do you think about public policy?
That might be a little much. Can you show me some of your favorite YouTubers?
Ooh, yeah, that's good.
If someone's into this is all age appropriate. See, I'm jumping around the ages all around here. Hey,
Yeah.
What type of, let's say, teenager? Hey, what type of qualities are you attracted to with your dating? How about this one? Hey, what's the funniest part of your day? What's been the most stressful part of your day? See, these are the type of questions that are way better than how was your day?
Yeah. Yeah, it is good. You know what? And I'm just thinking about some of the conversations I've had with adults, right? And I'm trying to get to know the adult better. I just met someone. I know what they do for a living. Okay, I see where they live. They got kids. So I'll just be like, okay, what's the next question I ask them? Hey, what are your hobbies? What are you into? What do you like to do for fun? It's amazing how many people don't know how to answer that question as an adult. I'm like, what do you do for fun? Oh, I just do stuff with, I chauffeur my kids and I work. And I'm like, okay. Well, do you do anything for fun? No, I don't have time, really. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, nothing for fun. What's life about if we're not having fun? You got to have fun. You can work yourself into the grave. Come on.
Dude, brilliant words. Life, it's great if you're spending time with your kids, driving them around, chauffeuring around. That's wonderful. But what do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do as an individual? Do you have a life outside your kids? See, this is partly the problem of what we have to address before we get to the next thing is asking our kids these questions is really hard. It's hard. It's hard for a lot of reasons. One of the reasons why it's hard is because we as parents, we feel rejected and we feel shut out because they say no.
Right. And I let's say we ask the question and they don't give us an answer or response. Let's say we hear a rumor from one of the parents and we're like, okay, let me ask my kids and see if I can get to the bottom of it. And they don't want to share that specific information with us. We feel bad. We're like, well, I'm horrible. Supposed to be the one you trust.
Yeah, we feel powerless. We feel scared. Yeah. We feel out of the loop. We feel disrespected. We get emotional, and then we either stop asking them questions or we do a bunch of stupid stuff like nagging, reminding, threats, pep talks. I mean, this is like why we're making this whole episode about it. They really want us to enter into their world, and they want us to be really good at asking them questions and then giving them the freedom to respond. Can I emphasize the word freedom for a second?
Yeah.
Because think about this for a second, everybody. I want you to become an amazing listener. I want to help you with that. We have a whole episode on how to thrive in listening skills as a parent. You can go back and listen to it. But this is kind of funny what I'm about to say because it's so true and hilarious. Okay, the better listener, the more, let me start here. Okay, the more you ask your kids questions, the better listener you are, the more your kids will feel safe talking to you. The more your kids will feel safe because you're not reacting, responding to their openness, the more they will talk. You with me so far? I'm not done.
Yeah, keep going.
The more they talk to you.
We're trying to keep the barriers down So there is no wall there.
Yeah, think of this like either a math problem or even like a river. It's like this leads to this, leads to this. But the more they talk to you, the more you're going to hear. The more you're going to hear means the more crap you're going to hear. Stuff you don't like, stuff that pushes your buttons. The more crap you hear, the more times you get your buttons pushed, the more tempted you are going to be to react to and not be a good listener. And the more you react, the less they're going to talk. The less you react, the more they're going to talk, and the more they're going to open up, the more they're going to feel safe. The more they feel safe, the more they feel connected. The more they feel connected, well, the more that they listen to you.
I feel like we need a diagram. This is good.
So you really want to speak to your kids? You really want to teach your kids? Well, I just showed you the diagram. Become a great listener. Listen to them. Enter their world.
And be a good question asker. That makes sense.
Right,
ask good questions.
Right.
Yeah.
Ask good questions. So here's like a little, I wrote down a few things for us to think about, okay? Because good listening is super hard as a parent. Think of it like a light switch. All of a sudden you hear something you don't want to hear. Yeah. My best part of the day was at school, and at lunchtime we were watching these YouTube videos. What do you mean? You're watching YouTube videos at lunchtime? See, boom.
Right.
You just ruined it.
Ruined it.
Right? You ruined it. You know? Yeah. Oh my gosh, the sleepover was so fun. We were eating pizza and Coke and chips. How much pizza did you have? Did you drink too much Coke?
I remember my wife telling me about this. She was reading one of the parenting books, and there was a story in there about a mother-daughter went on a beautiful weekend. They had such a great time, and they get back to the parking lot, and there was a moment where she looked over at her daughter, who was a teenager, who had acne problems, and was like, "Hey, have you been taking your medicine?"
Yep.
And in that moment,
yep,
she had to decide not to ask that question because it would have ruined the entire weekend trip.
Exactly.
It would have broke everything down. There's like a time and a place is what you're trying to say. There's a time and a place.
Oh my gosh. It's like this one mother, she told me the story about her. She takes her teen daughter out to do their nails together. It should have been a wonderful experience. But what happened was the mother has her specific ways of getting her nails done. And when her daughter chose to not do her mother's way, the mother reacted and ended up talking to the daughter and the nail stylist person and like reprimanded and guiding and controlling the situation. Guess what? Conversation's over. Good times are over. It's like, it is so tough doing what we're talking about right now and just not being a reactive listener. So tell me the differences between these two things. They're very subtle. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's no right or wrong answers. I just made these up, right? For the podcast. What's the difference between did you do your homework and do you want to go to Starbucks together and catch up?
Well, I feel like there's a big difference, right? Like
putting you on the spot.
One, I'm trying to figure out if they finished the task for the day. Like I ask my kids all the time, "Hey, did you brush your teeth before you go to school? Did you brush your teeth?" Yeah. Rather than, "Hey, should we go get a breakfast burrito and catch up?"
Do you think that there's a lot of parents out there that all they do is ask the first type of questions? Did you do your homework?
Yes, because we're task-based. We're a task-based society. Yes.
How about number two? What's the difference between these two? Hey, what time did you guys go to bed at the sleepover last night? Versus, hey, tell me something funny that happened at the sleepover last night.
Right.
See the difference? What's the difference?
You're asking them how their event was rather than a specific, question that you want answered.
Yeah, because you want to know, you want to make sure they didn't go to bed too late.
Yeah.
And this is just all about you because it's all about your ego, your fears. You want to make sure they didn't go to bed too late. I'll do a couple more. Ready? You're shopping online? Hey, make sure you make good choices. Versus, hey, show me like what are some styles right now that some teenagers are using that you think are kind of inappropriate? Can you kind of show me what they are? That's kind of a weirder one. Did you get what I did there?
Yeah, and in that one, you're trying to learn more about what your kids' limits are or thresholds are, right?
Yeah, you are. It's
Yeah.
like you're trying to understand where their
boundaries.
where their
Yeah.
boundary is versus, hey, you can't wear that. You better
You
not buy
can't wear
this.
that.
Versus, hey, where are
Yeah.
you at with this? Like, how do you feel about that?
I think
Like,
about that all the time. A lot of people are posting back to school pictures right now, and I saw some just from friends I know back in the day, and I'm like, man, I don't know if I'd ever let my daughter wear that,
yeah,
right?
right.
And so I'm like, that's going to be interesting too, because you can't, you don't want to be the parent that forces them, like, sorry, can't wear that, got to do this.
Yeah,
But then
man.
you also have to figure out how to gradually teach them along the way so that they won't necessarily want to wear some of the stuff I saw them wearing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Well, when we were both in high school, even though I'm older than you, the girls wore crop tops. And so
Yes.
crop tops are now back in fashion. So when my
Right.
teenagers started, when my oldest girl started wearing crop tops, she came home with a crop top. I was like, what is this? No way,
Right.
Jose.
Right.
And it was hard. And I did some thinking. I talked to my wife about it. I talked to her, and I just decided this is not a battle that I'm going to fight. I'm going to choose other battles with this girl. And I'm not going to ruin the relationship over a crop top.
I just worry, and this is me being, we talk about fear-based parenting, right? So like, I know what the world can be like. I know how men think. I know what predators are like. And sometimes I'm like, man, if let's say my daughter's off on her own and is wearing something like that, they can become a target for something. You know what I mean? I think about all this stuff, and I just want them to be safe. And unfortunately for women, things you wear does make you a target. I hate that that's the case that we're in, but that's the society we're in, and you got to be careful. And so stuff like that goes through my mind too.
It goes through my mind too, man, because we're dads and we know how men think because we are men, and we're scared. And we're scared, man. So the question is, are we going to parent in fear? Are we going to let our fears dictate our parenting? Are we going to put our fears upon our kids? And this is all stuff we want to practice mindful of, because I'll tell you right now, our kids wish we'd be more interested in learning about them than we are about telling them who we think they should be.
Right.
Because that's exactly what we'd be doing. Hey, we need to sit down. I'm going to tell you a 1-hour speech about the dangers of crop tops and what other men are thinking. I know you're only 13. I know you're not ready for this, but you need to hear it. You're going to wear a crop top. You need to know about how many pervs are out there. Like, it's like, right?
It's like the movie Taken. He knows the dangers of the world. His daughter wants to go to Europe and go shop, go hang out with a concert. And he's like, this could be really dangerous. I'm not comfortable with this. Yeah. But then the mom is like, you're going to lose her if you don't let her go. And then she goes, and then the worst happens, right? That the whole movie's based on that.
Right. So there's a time and a place to say no to sending your kids to Europe. And there's a time and a place to say no to crop tops. I'm not telling you no. This isn't about saying no to your kids.
No, it's not.
This is, but dude, you just took it. Yeah, it's hilarious.
That whole movie, like, everyone knows what I'm talking about.
Darkest movie ever. So, hey, all right, here's one more. And if you've got teenagers or anyone even 11 and up, this is a 5-star tip. Okay, what's the difference between this? Hey, how was your day? Versus, hey, I'd love to hear about your day. Are you in the mood for talking?
Okay, I thought you were going to say, are you in the mood for tacos? I'm like, everyone loves tacos. Let's talk over tacos.
No, it's actually an amazing tip I just gave everybody.
That's good.
Side door. Hey, how was your day? Versus, hey, I'd love to hear about your day. Can we chat about it when you're ready? See, those are 2 questions.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
You're letting them decide when they want to tell you.
Heck yeah, man. You're honoring their boundaries.
Or if you want to hear about it even sooner, you say, hey, I'd love to hear about your day. Let's go have some tacos.
Yeah.
And it happened right now. Dude, or let's go get some ice cream. Let's go get some ice cream.
Dude, those are 2 of my favorite things, my dog. Dude, I love ice cream and tacos, man, at the same time. Yes. Here, let me tell you something. As we wrap up our podcast, one of my most favorite things I've ever heard another parent say, you have to listen to this, everybody. Okay, I was giving a parent ed talk a while ago, pre-COVID, and there was probably, I don't know, let's just say 300 parents, and that was live, and I was the keynote speaker, and I was doing the same talk on the same topic. And I asked the group, all right, everybody, raise your hands. Help us out. We all want to hear. What are some great questions that you ask your kids, and they actually talk to you? And, whenever I ask parents this, I hear good stuff. Like some families, they sit around the dining room table, and they say, tell us your high and their low. Right? That's a pretty cool prompt. people tell the highlight of their day and their low light. And this person is saying this,
I like that.
this, and this one mom is saying, you know what? When I talk to the best thing for me to get my daughter talking is we go to Starbucks together. One dad's like, you know what? It's on the drive to school. That's his time to talk. And this one dad stands up. He raises his hand. He was like a little Indian American dude. He's probably like 5'9", and he's got his he's got his polo shirt on, tucked in with the khaki pants. They say, "You fine sir, what do you say to your son?" And he said this to me, and I gave him the mic. And he said his answer, and I was like, here's what he said. He said, I asked my kid every day after school, who did you help today? And I looked at this little dude, and I said, excuse me?
Wow.
I don't think I heard you right. What did you say? He said, I asked my son, he's about 11 or 12, who did you help today? And I'm like, shut up. He's like, no. I was like,
it's a great question.
I was like, he is. Now everyone's giggling and smiling, and I'm smiling at him. I'm like, you're serious? You ask your son that? And I was like, does he answer it? He's like, oh yeah. Yeah, he does. Sometimes, he has cool stories about little things he does for his teachers or classmates or how's his teachers. But sometimes he doesn't have his answer. I was like, shut your face, man. Like, dude, you're like a freaking parenting genius.
That is.
How did you do this? How did you do this? And then I'm telling I'm getting weird in front of everybody. And I'm like, can you imagine what this is doing to this young man? How this is molding him, Jordan? How this is shaping him? Like,
because you're going to want to make your dad happy. And so you think about it throughout the day.
Yeah.
And then you realize how cool it makes you feel to help other people.
Yes.
And so you keep doing it.
You keep doing it. You're just going through the world now through wearing these glasses of power and helping. And
right.
And I said to the dude, I said, man, before you leave, I need to get your phone number because I don't know about you, but I'm thinking arranged marriage right now, dude. Your son and one of my daughters, I want them to get together.
Yes.
And that maybe he laughed a lot too, because a lot of Indian Americans that are first generation here, they actually still do.
They do
marriages.
Yes, I've met several.
Yeah, I've met several myself. I've got clients myself. It's still a big thing, and so oh my gosh, so parents.
And you know what I love about that? Not to go off topic, I love about that because you have a support of both families that are full into this marriage. And so it's not just two people out on their own trying to make it work. It's like you have the support of both families.
Legit.
It's really cool.
It's legit. There's like so many amazing things in Indian culture that I wish I had in my family, in my life. There's so many great things in every culture. And thank you for sharing that. So, hey, our kids want us to know they want us to go into their world. And you know what? It might be hard for you because you may not be interested in what they're doing. You may not love jumping on the trampoline. You may not love playing with dolls. You may not love going to baseball games or cross country or playing Fortnite or playing Call of Duty. You may not love talking about JoJo's Circus or Rainbow Dash, but this is it. This is your time to show up with love and presence in your kid's life. Jordan, I'm thankful for you, man. I'm thankful.
I'm thankful for you too. I'm thankful since, we're talking about birthdays and stuff. I always reflect, right? And like, I've had a really cool life so far, and I'm just so grateful to be able to have a life, and I'm grateful to have these kids. Like, it's so cool being a parent. It's really rewarding and fun, and I'm learning a lot, and it makes life so much more enjoyable. I'm thankful for that.
I'm thankful for two things today because I'm the host, so I get to do what I want. And I get to be thankful for two things. I'm thankful for you. Happy birthday. I love you.
Thank you. I
love this friendship that we share, even though you're in Georgia and I'm California. You know what I'm thankful for? I'm thankful for dolls. I'm thankful for dolls.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm a 45-year-old man, and I've been playing dolls for the
last
you have. 18 years of my life, man. I'm going to play with dolls today, probably. And,
nice.
I love playing with dolls. And my 7-year-old actually just walked in my office, and she's staring at me, and she's smiling right now. You want to come over here and say hi? Say hi. How do you feel about when I speaking to the mic? Do you like it when I play dolls with you?
Uh-huh.
What do you like?
Uh-huh.
I like the voices that you make.
Oh, she likes the voices that I make.
It's golden.
Thank you. I do a lot of voices, huh? Do you do any voices?
I try.
Do you want to tell us something you're thankful for as we wrap up our talk? Tell me something you're thankful
Are you?
for. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Tell us something you're thankful for.
I've been waiting for you to go on the trampoline with me.
Okay, you've been waiting for me to go on the trampoline with
Oh,
me? Yes, I'm thankful for
nice.
trampolines. Yeah, we just got a new net. We got a new thing, and I'm excited to go on the trampoline. Tell us something you're thankful for. Kenzie's 7, and she's in 2nd grade. My kids are 18, 14, and 7.
Ask her if she's thankful for tacos and ice cream.
Do you like tacos and ice cream?
If the tacos aren't spicy.
Yeah, that's right.
Tell us something you're thankful for. Something that you really love, that you have in your life, that makes you happy, that you're thankful for.
She's nervous.
My family.
Oh,
I'm
that's so
thankful for you, too.
sweet.
I love you, and I love jumping on the trampoline with you and playing dolls with you.
All right, you got to give us the doll voice.